everything on this channel. If you enjoy what you're watching, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this far and wide. Hang on, we got another adventure. I got to go to school in the first one. Second one is done. Press that down there so it tacks in a little bit more. This wasn't holding it in place, but I gotta make sure my hands were clean before I did all of that. It tends to want to bunch up in the bottom when you do that, but not a big deal. Next is the back. It's a reminder for myself that on the back seat there are clips that go in, and we'll get a picture of it so we know. Peeling this off wasn't that hard. It's got a lot of glue in it, and there are some strings that go through. It was really stuck on the side here, and then the back of this thing is so sticky, which you'll see in just a minute. Kept working it out. There's a ton of dust. Remember, this is a 1987. This is original material. So working through this stuff, you just want to be very gentle. Don't destroy the seats when you're doing it. But take your time. You can get it out, and it is sticky for sure. Oh my God, this thing is horribly disgusting. Just show you all the stuff that's in here. We're going to vacuum it out in just a second, and it is sticky on the back like you wouldn't believe. So I know some of you are saying, well, just buy a new one. Well, I could, but since we're putting the cage in the car, by the way, I got these strings stuck in here, I have to pull them out. Since we have the cage in the car, we're never going to use the back seat. So this is just for show, not really for go. And our door card's getting there. So come around. Okay, so she actually cleaned up pretty good. You can see the strings have to go through here. I got it set up in the right orientation. We have to get some glue on that hump before we start fitting it in there. And I believe I got to break out the old heat gun a little bit to get some of this stuff to attach correctly. And Jonathan in the UK, who's the maker of this fabric, actually is messaging me as we speak, saying, I can't believe you're finally getting to it. But you can see this cleaned up a lot better. A little bit of shop vac and elbow grease, no problem. I never really dig too deep into the instructional side of videos on this because I know that people have already done this, and it just gets like long boring. I think the way that we're gonna do this is probably different than everybody else. I think what we're gonna do is get glue and everything on here, and we're gonna start, well, maybe not. I think the center is the right way to start on this. And then you have to, I think you have the heat gun, you have to get that center piece kind of on there. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it's sticking to that table. Oh my God, it's grungy. It's awful. I think this is gonna be one of those things where you gotta pull a lot of this fabric back and get a lot of this stuff situated and in place. I think this is probably gonna be the hardest part of this entire car. People say no, but I kind of disagree because you can see that you've got that humpling in there. And I think if we can get this centered and get the glue on there and get this set like that, this may be one part that we do for the day, and only that center hump, all that stuff's over there. So let's try to get this center hump going and see what we can do here. Going into fast motion. By the way, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get this lined up and glued in and tacked down. And I'm gonna make sure that that is set. I'm not gonna do anything more. I may clip the back end on here, and that's it. You wanna get all that set and situated. Once we have that, I'm gonna get glue on here, on each of these, and I gotta get the strings poked through these holes, which I'm gonna come back and make sure these holes are good enough to go through on each side. We'll get that pulled down and all of that cinched tight. Once that is done and that's set, then and only then are we gonna start working our way outward on these. So I think that's the appropriate way just on my logic of looking at these, so stand by. Major correction here, don't glue the centers. Pull your tabs through your strings, get them tied off, everything's cinched down. That's the only way you're gonna get this thing centered and lined up. And then glue everything out. You don't need glue in the center. You can roll some of that stuff back if you want to on the front and the back when you're done, just to get it set. Just note, I did not use my metal tabs, but everything worked out. Shameless plug on tool reusage. If you can see this, This is what I built to take the bottom off of the fuel level gauge, and it works on poking those strings through. So I got all those strings poked through just by using this. I'm gonna get the glue sprayed in there and get that side laid real quick, and then I'll swap to the other side. Another little pro tip, take some extra fabric and put it between the string and the hole just to tie it off to hold everything secure. It's gonna give you a lot better adhesion on the bottom. Pull everything nice and tight. Start from the center one and work your way up and then to the front. And that's gonna make sure that everything is cinched down. Don't put glue in the center, it's a pain in the neck. Yeah, the rears are a pain in the arse, not gonna lie. They're not easy. I'm kinda out of glue, so I'm gonna go to lunch. All right, I'm back from lunch. I'm pulling all the staples out of this, and I took the rollout holder off here. I'm not going to reinstall it because we're not going to use it. I'm going to go with a different setup. You see I'm just pulling the staples out of this, and then I'll vacuum all this stuff up and clean it up. Be careful with the wood. It will separate on the back. It's a pain in the ass. I ended up stapling it back in there just to make sure I had something to staple to when I was done. But all in all, this went pretty quick on the top. It was a lot easier than doing the bottoms. The bottoms are an absolute pain in the ass. The fucking cat drug in.
Hey guys.
Ritter's here. What were you saying?
I love Pasha.
You love Pasha? It's a friend of ours. It's a Russian dude. I didn't know this about you until now.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. What you think?
This is, so did you do all the actual upholstery yourself?
No. I got this out of UK.
Okay.
There's a guy there. I have to find the link and I'll post it. But this is, I got this laid out. That door card is done. It's still drying, so a little bit of glue in there. And I got to trim the top still. But that's all done. This is going on the upper seat. If you look over here, this is still drying. That's the lower half of the rear seat.
The rear box is great.
Yeah, so I got the rear seat done. I'll have to steam a little bit of the crease out of here, but that'd be easy to get done. But yeah, I'll get some heat on it. It's not done completely, but it's getting there. And I'm just disassembling this right now. You walked in and we're in the process of doing this. I got to get all that off there and we're going to get that piece put on there. So let's freaking have at it. And get Mikey a beer and he can watch. Glad Mike showed up. Two hands are better than one. The staples in here are a pain in the neck. Be careful with the wood, as I said before. And you won't see all the video on this because we actually ran out of battery power on our phone. So you'll miss a little bit, but you get the idea of what we're doing here. And the upper piece is way easier to do than the bottom piece, by the way. So enjoy. They say 4 hands are better than 2. I mean, it depends what you're grabbing. Don't judge any of this right here because that will all come out. But believe it or not, all I got to do is loop the sides on this and get that sprayed and tacked real quick. And this shit's ready to get installed. Let me show Ritter what else I got. All right, Mr. Ritter, you want to see what we got here?
Of course.
All right.
You always love Amazon goodies.
I do.
Okay.
So the thing with this,
the stereos.
yeah, it doesn't have, this one downside of this is it doesn't have RCAs on it. So we're gonna go RCAs out of the amp, which is gonna be easier. So this, when you listen to the stereo, you'll hear it sounds really crisp, really clear, just doesn't have any bottom end. Stop. Do not return this product. Okay, whatever. All right, this comes with, oh good, it's got a power line with fuse, it's got mounting brackets, steering outside, and the deal on this is, so I found an 8-inch for $100 on Marketplace. I ordered this yesterday, this was on sale for $300, and I'm like, you know, $300 compared to $269 at Best Buy for the 8-inch. So this is normally a lot more. And there was somebody selling one for $250. We want that. Yeah, DC current we want to pick up on. I did some reading on this. Okay, all that is zeroed out, so I have to set on that when we do it. And then on this, a little bit of wiring that I'll need to do. That's it. Comes with a, I think a bass volume control knob. I think. It might be that might be insulation brackets. I might have lied. Maybe it was the 8-inch that came with it. It comes with the knob?
Yep, got the bait knob.
Oh, look at that. Okay. So we have, if you look at this, we have power.
Power, ground, remote.
Yeah, power, ground, remote, and then
right and left.
That's gonna be right and left. And what we're gonna do on this right and left is we are, I'm gonna grab some stuff to do this real quick. But we're gonna install those RCAs real quick. And what you got? Look at you. Awesome. All right, so let me grab a couple tools real quick and we'll dive into it. So, door card's in, rear seats are in, stereo is all in, even the subwoofer is in. So, we're getting there, my friend. We are getting there. I gotta put the center console in tomorrow. The stereo absolutely fucking rocks.